Hello, friends, and welcome back to Zapp Savvy, the podcast that electrifies your world with energy solutions.
That's right. We're back for another episode. I'm Mike Sokol.
And I'm Doug Curtis, and we're your hosts.
Today, we'll be continuing our discussion on solar power from last episode. Over the course of the next several ones, we'll be talking about the ways you can use solar power in your outdoor lifestyle. This episode, we're going to focus on the RV solar checklist for trailers. And each class of RV is different in what is needed to make it suitable for solar. And to make things more complicated, different brands of RV comes with different solar packages from the factory. But before we get into all that, it's time to share some more of our favorite camping memories. Okay, Doug, what you got?
Well, I had to dig deep for this. So imagine 50 years ago, I'm in San Diego. A friend of mine who's a writer is living in a trailer down in Mexico on the Baja. He says, come on down, we'll drink some beer and tell some stories. So there I go. I drive down there. Took, maybe a couple of hours. I pull up and there, believe it or not, is a beautiful, well, it was very old at that time, Airstream sitting in the sand. He had his pickup truck there. And you could see down into the bay. There's all the shrimp boats there. I mean, it was like a place where a writer would want to be writing novels, I guess. Anyway, the story was I had never been in an Airstream. I got inside. I said, wow, look at all this wood. It's really cool. And but basically, most of the time, we were just sitting outside. We built a little campfire when it got dark and started telling some stories. And that told the stories all night long next to the campfire. And he said, you know what? It's almost dawn. And I said, yeah. He says, you know what we do now? I said, no. He said, we're going down to the shrimpers. They've been out shrimping all night. We went down there, where we've been looking all afternoon and the night through the night. They come in, and swear to God, I mean, I had never seen shrimp this big. And so we brought the shrimp back up to the Airstream. Well, we're kind of off-grid there. There wasn't any solar power in those days. There wasn't any power at all. In fact, there was no power pole. There was nothing. So, we just had the campfire there, started it up from the night before. It was still warm, and grilled up that shrimp, and that's my story.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really think RVing is all about gathering stories and having little adventures. So mine is about a fairly recent one. Last time I covered the fact that we started in a canvas army tent with no stove and no nothing. But I just took my GeoPro out to Indiana from Maryland for the Frog Rally here recently, a couple of months ago. And now I had everything. I could run the air conditioner off the battery. We also had my 12-volt DC refrigerator in it. I loaded it up with a bunch of craft beers that I got in Western Maryland because I had to prove to these guys out in Indiana that we know how to make beer here. And we pulled the awning out. I ran off the power of this thing. And I was doing remote video podcasts from my trailer.
Right.
And this thing was great. It's a little GeoPro toy hauler, so I had plenty of room in the back to throw all my junk. So this is like living like a king in a 19-foot GeoPro with full solar and a bathroom, and that I didn't have to share with anybody. It was really cool.
That is a really great story, Mike. If I would have had that solar power 50 years ago next to that old Airstream, I could have been sitting inside in air conditioning eating that shrimp. But that's not the story today. But today we're going to look at 3 different types of trailers and see what they're using and what they include, because there's a lot of new things happening. I mean, every day there's a new invention. So, Mike, I know you've got a special checklist?
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are necessary. If you want to look at this when somebody's trying to sell you a solar package, an RV with a solar package, or you're going to upgrade it. So first thing you've got to consider is solar panels, whether they're solid or flexible. We'll do some deeper dives into solar panel installations later. You do have to make sure that you have a properly sized solar charge controller.
Solar charge controller. Mike, I got to interrupt you. That's a new word. It's control. Tell me what it does. I
Okay,
mean,
so
help,
normally
help me.
the newest ones are what they call MPPT controllers, and so they're smart controllers. And here's the thing: your solar panels are sitting out in the sun, and the voltage from your solar panel goes up and down depending on sunlight. It's obvious, much more sunlight at high noon compared to in the morning or in the evening. So if you didn't have that charge controller, you would be getting very little or no charge in the morning or in the evening, and probably overcharging during the day. So it goes in and creates this constant voltage that your batteries need to charge them. So you need to, these controllers maximize the power transfer from the solar panels. So in a word, and basically keep your
Okay.
expensive lithium batteries or other batteries happy.
Okay.
Does that answer it? It's just a
Yeah,
gadget
I
in
get
there
it.
that
I get it.
regulates the sun.
I get it. I never understood that before. Thank you.
So another thing, batteries. So towables usually came with a minimum of 100 amp hours of lead acid batteries, what we call FLA for flooded lead acid, or AGM, absorbed glass mat batteries. But most people are going to lithium batteries now. I've got a whole episode planned just on battery upgrades for you
Oh yeah.
guys. I do batteries. The main thing right now that you've got to think about is your inverter. So your inverter converts to 12 volts DC from the battery to the 120 volts AC that you need to run, well, a lot of your electrical devices. So basically, it provides wall outlets like you would have in your home that
Okay.
are powered up from the 12-volt batteries that you've charged up from solar panels. Kind of
Okay.
get where we're going with this?
I got it. Yeah, I get it.
And then you'll have a load center, and your load center is the thing that's got like the circuit breakers and all, and your fuses and such. So those are the main things in there. You want to know: do you have a big enough inverter? What all is it powering, and what can you do with it?
Okay, Mike, this is the part that I'm really keen about. I mean, like, when we get back, we'll review the top three brands. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Three problems every RV owner notices on their very first trip. The AC won't start on low power while camping off-grid. Any second AC units won't run when connected to a 30-amp power pole. And repeated AC startup is noisy at night, so any rest is virtually impossible. So whether RV trips are spoiled by overheating in the RV, no 50-amp poles at the campground, or no sleep because of noisy, rattling ACs at night, RVing isn't always as cool as it looks. But there is a simple fix. Install a SoftStartRV. You'll immediately enjoy quick AC startups on low power, even using a small generator. Cool, continuous comfort all day or night. Installation takes 20 minutes. Professional installation is available.
Peace of mind that you're safe and you can run what you want when you want.
Get your SoftStartRV today.
Thanks very much, SoftStartUSA, for sponsoring this episode. And Mike, okay, let's review three of the top brands that are out there and what they give you for your money.
Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is Airstream. Now, Airstream is one of those vintage things. It's been around since, what, the 50s? Wow.
I
The
told
rivet
you my
things?
story. It was 50 years ago.
Yeah,
So
man. I mean, they're really cool. And so they were a little late coming to all of this stuff. But guess what? I just saw one at the Hershey show here a couple months ago. And they're they're starting to outfit them with all kinds of solar and inverters. So they call them an electrified unit. Now, this is not to be confused with their eStream Airstream, which actually has battery-powered traction motors that can drive itself, push itself
yeah.
down the road behind your electric vehicle. Whole different animal. I'll do a thing on that later. This is just a standard Airstream that you would camp in, that you would tow behind your conventional truck or whatever.
Right.
So they've included now, the latest ones, you can get an inverter in them. They're basically a 1,000-watt inverter that converts your 12-volt power in your batteries to 120-volt AC. So you don't have to have a generator for running some of the basic things. Now, it's not a real big system yet, but I think they're going to get bigger as they go along, as more people ask for them. But you really need this for boondocking. So the standard inverter now they've got has 1,000 watts of pure AC power. It doesn't have enough power to run the air conditioner. And Airstream says it can't run a batch of frozen margaritas on it. But guess what? I've proved that you can. Because when I camp, I figure, you got to take some fun stuff with you. So yes, you can in fact run a blender off of it. You can watch your TV on it. You can charge your laptop. I mean, there's a variety of other things that you can do. You just plug this into regular outlets if you want. Airstream is offering these two options right now, but probably more real soon. So it's a 200-watt solar charging system with an interior battery monitor, and I think it's about $2,100 to get into that, and that's just using the conventional AGM batteries. If you want to upgrade this to lithium batteries, and I believe it has a pair of 100 amp hour lithiums, but they weren't real specific yet. I think it's about a $4,600 option. Now, if that sounds like a lot of money, understand that Airstream is already $120,000 to begin with.
Yeah.
They are not cheap, but they are elegant, and you turn heads when you pull in with an Airstream. You just do.
I got a 50-year-old memory, Mike. I just told you the story.
A 50-year-old memory. They are the coolest. I personally don't like a lot of the pop outs and slides, and to me that's all kinds of other things that go wrong. Airstreams, man, and they tow down the road like a breeze. They really, really do. So I'm really liking those. I'm going to see. They've promised to actually let me play with some of these in the spring.
Oh.
So I have some connections at Airstream because I taught at Illumapalooza, which is the big Airstream thing at the factory. I'm going, could I get one of these to try out? And they go, well, sure you can. I can't do it this fall. But in the spring, I'm hoping to go over there and get one and just tow this around for a few days, go on a couple little trips. Yeah.
We could take a little trip to Puerto Penasco in Mexico, and we could talk all night around the campfire and go down and eat shrimp.
Oh yeah, man, that would be fabulous. It would be. Okay, so now the GeoPro, I have a GeoPro 19-foot toy hauler that I talked a little bit about in my story. I love this thing. I mean, it's an amazing. Now I like smaller RVs because I like getting in and out of places. I've spent a lot of time on tour buses for rock and roll shows. Other people love big Class A's. I like the things you can get in and get out, so I don't have to do a lot of planning. So my GeoPro has got the Master Volt upgrade on it. In fact, I have the very first one that had the very first prototype unit. I've got like 600 watts of solar in it, 400 watt hours, which is 5,000 watt hours of lithium batteries, like one big honking battery, a 3,000 watt hybrid inverter. Now that's the upgrade. I think stock is like a 200 watt RV solar panel with an 1,800 watt inverter. I'm not sure what the upgrade was. I think my entire upgrade was something around an $8,000 package, if I'm not mistaken. But it has everything. I mean, it's got this big, Master Volt battery. And the thing that I really like, it has the Combi Master inverter charger controller system in it, so I can actually charge this thing up externally from something like a car generator, or I can plug this into a small outlet and charge the thing up to augment my solar panels. It'll run the I have a 11.5 kBPTU air conditioner on the roof. It'll run the air conditioner for 5 hours off the battery. I did it. I mean, now I don't need to run the air conditioner all night. I like to have an hour or two of cool down before I go to sleep. Yeah. And then I open up the windows. Yeah. Wow. I mean, talk about a beautifully integrated system. Right. And it does, in fact, have a 12-volt DC refrigerator in it, which I think I like a whole lot better than propane refrigerators. It will run the refrigerator and all this stuff forever if you're parked in the sunshine.
Right.
And it's got a plug on the side. I can plug in my own extra, suitcase solar panels. I think these are great.
And this last one, Mike, I know you're put together some specs on this example because you just saw it at the Hershey show, and I think it has an application for a lot of people. Dive into that for me, will you?
Okay, so this is a company called A-Liner. We've all seen the little A-Liners. It looks like it's basically like a hardtop A-frame that folds down, right? So when it's folded down, it's not really any taller than your tow vehicle. But this one, when it folds up, it also has like little dormers coming out.
Right.
Wow. So this one has 800 watts of solar panels on it. It's got the EcoFlow complete plug and play system. So it's a 48 volt battery system with a smart distribution panel. And it comes with a stock 5 kilowatt battery, right? A single one. You could add 2 more, plug and play. You just get the batteries and just plug them into their little power hub. So this is like 15 kilowatt hours of battery power, which is equivalent to like three times what I have in my GeoPro. I mean,
Wow.
it's you could do all kinds of stuff. Plus, it has a DC to DC converter built in for charging off of your alternator in your car. I can't talk about enough about the really cool stuff it has. And they also say, I've not played with this yet, but they say that you can not only use the battery power and the solar input, you can add a wind turbine to this.
Wow.
Which I'm amazed. Okay, so you talk about your writer. You know, I'm a writer. I have threatened to write the great science fiction novel of all times. You know, me and Asimov and all that.
Yeah.
If I had one of these parked out, say, by a beach where there were shrimpers coming in every morning,
Puerto Penasco.
I think I would be inspired to do my big novel. I'm just telling you, wouldn't that be the best stuff? I wouldn't even put shoes on. I would be living in flip flops.
Oh no, no shoes. So, Mike, what a show! So all the big brands are out there, and they're all starting to incorporate these solar solutions. And we've just given you, 3 of these examples. But if you have an RV already and you want to find out about solar solutions, we suggest, just take this little checklist that Mike and I have tried to put together for you. Feel free to send us your questions about the brands, about other solar packages, about other ideas that you know. If you didn't get a question, Mike, you got a question just the other day. Maybe you could jump in here. What was that question?
Yeah, I do a daily newsletter, my RV electricity Substack, and guys are always asking stuff. So the guy said, "Hey, I'm new to this solar thing. Can I just leave the solar panels on over the winter? Will it keep my batteries charged?" So a lot of you guys pull your batteries out, right? Take them in to charge, keep them charged up over the winter. And the idea here is, depending on what you've got, but if you have a proper MPPT controller that can actually go into maintenance mode, if you have at least 100 watts of solar panels, 200 or 400 watts is better, that will in fact be enough to keep your batteries charged up all winter, whether they're lead acid or whether they're lithium. And the key, of course, is you don't have to remove those heavy batteries out.
Yeah.
Those things are a beast. And, you can hook wires up wrong and blow up things.
Yeah.
You'll want to make sure nobody steals your lithium batteries out of your RV. But I thought that was a great question. Yes, you can leave it on. And in fact, I showed him how to make sure that the solar panels were still charging even after you shut off your master battery disconnect. So we can provide a link to that if you like.
Great questions. And so again, be sure to send us your questions because, we've got the Mr. RV Electricity here. So coming up next, we're going to break these same things down for all you van campers and Class B RVers. So all of you out there that are living the van life or you've got one of those great Class Bs, that's next episode coming up.
Yep. Thank you to our audience for tuning in to another episode of Zapp Savvy.
Yes, and I am so delighted. So power up your adventures, charge your life with knowledge.
And thank you again to our sponsor, SoftStartUSA.
Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And be sure to comment what you liked, what you didn't like, and ask questions about what you want us to cover next time. We want to cater this podcast to you, and we love your feedback.
So, thank you so very much. See you next time on
Zapp Savvy.